Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Jacob. In this video, we're going to talk about how to add a $500 to $1,000 per day income stream to your business. Okay, I'm gonna roll the intro, we're gonna jump into it. All right, before we jump into the content in this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the bell icon so you get notified whenever I drop a new video. And if you're interested in how to grow a profitable information business, so selling other people's products as an affiliate, creating courses or information products, or doing coaching or consulting, either you're currently in that game and you want to make more money doing it, or you want to get into the information space, this channel is going to give you a ton of strategies on how to do that. Okay, so be sure to subscribe and stick around for future videos. If you have any questions or comments on this one in particular, you can leave a comment below and either myself or my assistant will get back to you throughout the week. And if you get any value from this one in particular, if it shifts your perspective on anything, or if it spurs you to go and get to work on these strategies, then give the video a like. That would be appreciated. It gets the content out to more people. Okay, so with all that out of the way, let's jump into this one. So if we want to build or add, right, a $500 to $1,000 per day income stream to our business, what is the best way to go and do that? Okay, so you've got three pieces to how to do this, and we're going to break them down individually. And so you can go and, checklist this out and say, all right, well, I'm missing those components, so I need to go and do them. We're going to sequence it out. We've got you covered. Okay, so first things first is you need something to sell. Now, if you were sitting here saying I want to make $100 a day, this next piece of advice isn't going to be relevant to you. But since you're chasing, clearly because you're watching this video, more, $500, $1,000 a day, you need to be selling for high ticket. Okay, you are simply not going to, from scratch, add a income stream of that level without selling something that is expensive, right? Now, you could either go and create a product, or you could go and find somebody else's product to promote. Either path works fine, but you want to be earning at least $500 per sale, or $1,000, or even more, right? More is better. It means you're going to need less customers, less traffic, less problems. Okay, so that's where you need to start, right? You can either, if you've got your own information products already, fantastic. If they're cheap, bump the prices up, get them up to that level where you're selling them for $500 to $1,000, assuming the value is there, or you can add more stuff in order to get the value up to that level, or go and create something of that value. Honestly, when it comes to pricing, the significant majority of it is about what's going on up here. What you need to remember is people aren't paying for the videos, people aren't paying for the workbooks, right? You can't derive the value of your stuff from that. What they're paying for in an information product is two things. It's the outcome, it's the result, right? So if you're producing a big result for somebody, showing them how to lose a ton of weight, showing them how to make a lot of money, showing them how to save a lot of money, showing them how to avoid a ton of, emotional stress, that is very, very valuable. Okay, that's how you need to start thinking about pricing your products. And the second thing that they're getting the benefit of, which flows into the pricing beyond just how many videos am I receiving, is your years and years and years of experience and learning, and what you've invested in learning of other people, and your trial and error. If I think about my journey over the last 3.5, 4 years in the online business space, the amount of money that I've spent on different things in order to figure it all out, right? You can't undervalue that stuff. You just cannot undervalue it. Or a couple of things are going to happen. You're going to attract crappy customers who don't value you and are just going to refund, or they're just going to moan because they don't truly value information at the level that it needs to be valued at. You're going to make it really, really hard for you to grow a business to 6-7 figure level, because you're constantly selling stuff that requires you to have so many customers per day. You're going to need a ton of traffic, which either means you're going to need to blow up a YouTube channel or a Facebook group to a really, really big level, which can be a nightmare to manage. And or you're going to need to spend a ton of money on ads, but you're not going to have the margin in your products in order to run those ads because they're too cheap. Okay, so the benefits to selling your stuff for higher tickets is infinite. And honestly, if you can't come around to that way of thinking, there's not a lot I can do to help you in terms of increasing your profits and your margins in your information business. You simply have to. Okay, it's honestly, it's a lot more about what you've got going on up here, about how you value yourself, how you value your information, and your relationship with money, than it is about what people are willing to pay. Okay, so that's the first thing, is you either take one of your current products. If you haven't already got a high ticket, if you've got a high ticket product, you're sweet, we can move on. If you haven't already got one, you need to go and find one to promote. There's plenty out there. You can check out the Super Affiliate Accelerator. You can either promote our stuff, or we introduce you to a ton of different products that are out there that you can promote for high tickets. Or you go and take one of your existing products and bump the ticket value up. In a lot of cases, people could double or triple the price of their stuff without changing anything if they can fix the mindset issue around pricing. Or if you don't have anything currently, but you don't want to promote somebody else's, you need to go out there and create something, okay? And now there's two ways you can go about doing this, which I'll touch on quickly, but this is really a topic for another video. You can either, if you've already got an audience of people, you can pre-sell it. So you could put a piece of content out there, or multiple pieces of content out there, pre-selling something, and then you make it live with a group of people who purchase it. Okay, that's one way you can go about it. Or if you don't have an existing audience and you want to make it in advance, you can do that as well. I've done both. Both are fine. The only kind of condition to think about if you're not going to pre-sell it is make sure you don't drag it out for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months trying to make it perfect. Okay, because you're better off getting the minimum viable product out there, and then you can improve it over time. Okay, that's going to be the way to do it. So you either create something in advance that's in like a minimum viable state in order to achieve the outcome for the person purchasing it, and then you can make it better over time, or you pre-sell it. Either way, your goal is to create something that's high value, but do it in a way that means that you can produce it in the next week or couple of weeks maximum. Okay, I recently rolled out a new program called the Fast Cash Rolodex. It's something that's literally been sitting on my to-do list for a very, very long time. I just haven't had the capacity to take it on. And with the new year and being something that I've wanted to do for a long time, I blocked out a week. I literally hardly left this office for like 7 days straight. I pulled 12, 14-hour days and got it done, right? And that's now an asset that, depending on when you see this, it's either going to be $500 or $1,000. It may even be more. That's an asset that condenses down years and years and years of experience and learning into a very, very to the point, no bullshit, actionable, step-by-step program that people can use to quickly extract cash from their audience. A host of strategies that I've picked up and collected across the journey and have tried and used and worked for myself and for mentors I've worked with and clients I've worked with. It's literally a Rolodex or a playbook of stuff that people can use to quickly extract cash. And I put that together over a week of just incredibly deep focused work. Okay, so when I say go out there and create a product, even for a high ticket, it doesn't have to be something that takes you months. Like, you don't have to sit here and go, shit, I gotta make a product and that's gonna take me 6 months. It doesn't have to, right? You literally, when we rolled out my program, the Super Affiliate Accelerator, at the end of 2019, we sold like 30 to 40 copies in a month at $1,000 a head, and all we had was a checkout form. We knew what we were going to be. We knew the content and how it was going to be structured and stuff. We had the framework, but in terms of materials that were created, all we had was the checkout form. So you can do it either way. It just depends, where you're at with your audience and how quickly you want to move, how quickly you need to generate the cash, how well situated you are in terms of being able to roll something out quickly. Do you work better under pressure? Like, do you work better when I have to have this thing done by a certain time, or do you prefer to have a little bit more time without giving yourself so much rope that you're never going to release it if you've got that like perfectionism thing going on? So that's the first part, is you just have to have something to sell. Okay, and now most people in the information game, they go the other way, right? They spend so long building audiences and providing value and doing all these kind of things where they're just building up this group of people who've never been pitched to and never been sold to. And I made this mistake initially too. I was like, I'll just build this big audience of people and then maybe eventually I'll sell more stuff to them. I then learned pretty quickly that it doesn't work that way, because what you're going to attract is freebie seekers, time wasters, people who don't respect your time, don't respect the value that you can bring to the market, all these kind of things. It's not a good place to be. So on the flip side, starting with the product you lead out with that, right? Like I am open with people in my Facebook group. I'm open with people on my email list. I'm open with people on this YouTube channel. You are going to be pitched things. And if that's not okay, then it's not the place for you. You need to be that way, because otherwise you're just going to build this big tribe of people who never want to buy anything, and never view you as an authority of somebody who actually sells premium stuff, as opposed to someone who just freely dispenses information. Okay, so if you're serious about adding an income stream of this kind of level, you need a product that is either that is north of $500, right? And they're your options. Okay, we've covered that out. You can make it now, you can pre-sell it, or you can promote somebody else's. The point is, you got to get your hands on something you can sell. Okay, the second thing, right, that you need is a method in order to sell it. Okay, the third step, which goes hand in hand with the second one, so I'm going to talk about them both kind of in the same frame, is where are you going to sell it? Okay, so this is also going to depend on where you're at with things right now. I always encourage my students to focus on one platform and then add others in layers and really expand that way. So for me, it was really a matter of I initially started with blogging, and then got into some ads, and then Facebook's been a big focus, and now I'm growing on YouTube. So it's a matter of stacking them one on top of the other. But the point of raising 2 and 3 together is that the conversion method needs to go hand in hand with the traffic strategy, or the audience building strategy, right? So for example, if you're on YouTube, like you're watching this right now, my conversion strategy for my products, you can put a link in the description and then have a sales page that can do the selling for you. Okay, so that's like an automated sales strategy. So if you go and create your product, you can look at the links as an example of what you need in place in order to sell something a higher ticket, right? Or you could send people to a funnel where you collect their information and get them on a phone call. That's the same as well. That's fine. But basically, look, you need some method of moving people from where they're consuming your content, watching a video, reading a post on Facebook, and move them into some kind of conversion process. Okay, so for example, on Facebook, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can do a post and put a link in the comment section, or you can move people over to a conversation in Messenger, and you can talk to people that way. I'm going to be coming out with a program that really breaks down the process of selling one-to-one in a really, really simple way, so that it's not like slimy or sleazy. It doesn't need to be that way at all. There's too much negative stuff around selling on the internet. So that's a different method because the platform's different, right? So my point is, you've got your product, now you need to match it up with the conversion strategy and an audience building platform that go hand in hand. Okay, now you may already have an audience somewhere, right? You may already, if you've got your Facebook profile, that's great. If you've got a group, that's great. If you've got a YouTube channel, email list, whatever, you need to take that and your new product and bridge them together. Okay, so that's either going to be an automated sales strategy, like a one-page funnel. You can see a couple of examples of those in my description. It could be a longer form webinar. I'm not a massive fan of those. I just feel like if you're busy, like I am, I'm not going to sit there and watch a 2-hour webinar. I'd rather just know the price, like what's it going to do for me, what's included, and get to the point. So that's typically how I create my stuff, and it works well. But each to their own. But it needs to be something that's compelling as to why people should invest in that product. Now, if you're selling other people's as an affiliate, that job's done heavily for you, because if it's a good program, it's going to have sales resources that you can leverage. Like they're going to give you sales pages and funnels and stuff that you can plug into. So if you're a complete beginner and you're watching that, start there. Start with high ticket affiliate marketing, right? Start with someone else's high ticket product and just focus on the front end. Focus on learning marketing and sales. Then eventually you can progress to creating your own products or doing coaching or consulting or whatever. Once you've got the skills under your belt, that's going to be the best place to start. Now the overall strategy of how do we perfect all of this, that's something that's hard to explain in a video, and it's kind of a case by case. But if you want to add this kind of income stream, you start with the product. You literally don't do anything else until you figure out, this is what I'm going to sell. then you say, okay, how am I going to sell it and who am I going to sell it to? What platform am I going to communicate on, right? Once you've got that set up, so for example, I was talking before about the new program that I created, the Rolodex. That's now an asset for me that I can sell over and over and over again, right? And we will comfortably build up to a point where we're doing more than one a day at the moment, but we will comfortably sit at a point where we're doing one of those a day, if not, 2 or 3, depending on the focus of the content at any one point in time, running ad campaigns, whatever it may be. So you go, boom, now you've created an asset for yourself that's generating, $500 to $1,000 per day. And it's like, well, okay, so how do we fuel that? The content. So you've got that platform that you've narrowed in on, you've got the complementary conversion process, and you've got the product. Now you have one job. I said at the start of this, you can focus on one thing. When that's set up, you have one job, and it is to grow the reach of that platform that you are focusing on. So that might be your profile by getting new friends onto your friends list. That might be your group by getting new people into the group. That might be your YouTube channel by creating new content, or your email list by bringing new leads in, however you do that. But you've got that core conversion method set up that sells the product, which is, will be delivered however it is delivered. That may involve some of your time or whatever, but your focus is on that one thing. It's on pushing people to that conversion method, and that's what you need to show up and do every single day. And when you've got clarity like that, this whole online business thing becomes a hell of a lot easier, because then it's like, okay, well, what content am I going to create? That becomes your focus. The monetization's taken care of, the funnel, the conversion strategy is taken care of, because you've thought about those things before worrying about creating content every day for the sake of creating content, like so many people are doing. Now you can focus on creating content with an actual chance of getting an ROI, and a strong chance, if you do it well, on all that time that you are investing. Okay. Now, in terms of content that you should create, there's a few buckets, and I've done training on this channel about content before. But what you need to be doing in your content, aside from all of the normal like how-to content and stuff like that, you need to be aiming to shift people's perspectives. That if I could condense the content game down into one sentence, it is that. It is, you need to shift people's perspectives. Okay, you've got a way of thinking, right, that is going to align with what you are selling, and the market or your audience are going to be thinking another way, or on their way to thinking like you do. Your job is to get them to think in line with you and align with what you preach and all those kind of things, and then make them the offer of your product. Okay, so that's the deeper level of content, is getting people to think in the same way that you do, so that when you make an offer, you guys are on the same page. Okay, that's the secret to good content, is giving people those perspective shifts. Because if you think about a brand that you follow, or that you have some kind of affinity with, if they're just constantly producing surface level content that never really dives deeper into psychology or your mindset or your thinking and plays on those kind of things, you're never really going to develop that strong connection. Whereas, and I've experienced this time and time again. I've had people message me and they'll say, Jacob, that Facebook post or that video, it felt like you're kind of reading my mind. This is exactly what I needed to hear at this point. And that's what you need to get your content to. Because when you give people those perspective shifts and they're sitting there going, holy shit, he's like literally reading my mind, that's where content becomes really, really effective. And then when you pair that with a call to action, that's where you'll sell stuff. Okay, so that's how you can go and add a $500 to $1,000 a day income stream to your business. The keys to making this all work, honestly, are speed, like finding that product and sticking with it quickly, rolling it out with the conversion process, rolling it out in a done is better than perfect approach. Done working well, high quality, but it doesn't have to be perfect. You perfect it over time when you actually get data and feedback, and then consistency in the content, right? And in your content, focusing on what I just spoke about. Don't just focus on the same stuff that everyone in your market does. Focus on shifting people's perspectives about how things really work and about how you view the world, which is obviously going to be in line with your products. And then the last one is just don't be afraid to sell. Don't be afraid to give 1, 2, 3 calls to action in any one piece of content, because if you've got a good thing that genuinely helps people and it's a solution to their problem or problems, you should almost feel obligated to get that in their hands. Okay, if you do all the things that I've spoken about in this video, you will be well on your way. Honestly, this is stuff that people charge a lot of money to share. So I hope you guys appreciate me sharing it in this video. I hope some people go and take action on it. I know a lot of people won't, but that's just the way that it is. If you want to work together, you can head over to jacobcaris.com and you can put in an application. My assistant will reach out to you. We can chat about particulars and see if you might be the right fit. You can check out the programs. The links are in the description, and one of those might fit your situation. But other than that, I'll see you all in the next video. Subscribe to the channel. Cheers.